You didn't wear shoes, you wore fancied up socks.
Betty and I both took distributive education the last 2 years of high school. You went to school for half a day and worked the second half. And you got credit for distributive education.
And where did you work at during your high school days?
I worked at Sears. Robert
and I worked at Krause. She got to pay and I got to play. I didn't get much pay.
Yeah, the poor guys.
Everybody wanted to go to Sears. And
yeah,
work.
we made a little bit more money than the others. But let me tell you what we used to do, because I did that too. When we went out with the guys, we knew the guys didn't have a lot of money, and so a lot of times we helped pay for whatever it cost at night to go out, because we'd go out to dance or something, and we'd help the guys with the bill, you know, because it was tough in them times. You know, you didn't make too much.
What was your boyfriend's name? Lenny?
Lenny Abear.
Lenny Abear. He went to Nichols also.
And different ones I went with. You know, I didn't have a steady then. It was just different guys.
You know, there's a story on WIS. Weinbacher, the quarterback for Nichols, went to work for D.H. Holmes, and in the story from WIS, his name comes up. I think he was vice president there at Holmes until the Holmes closed, you know.
Oh, he wound up staying there?
He wound up staying
Raymond,
there.
huh? Raymond?
Ray Weinbacher.
Ray Weinbacher. I didn't know that
and
he
Billage,
had stayed.
Andy Billage.
Billage,
They owned the Billage Oyster House, oysters, whatever.
Now, Lenny Abear, he wound up a manager of one of the stores.
He stayed in retail?
Yeah, he stayed in retail. And the last I heard, he was living across the lake somewhere. I think he wound up leaving Sears, and he opened a construction business.
Okay.
And then he had children. His sons grew up, and they took over the business, and he's retired.
So, any funny family stories? You told a few about Albert. About your brother or your son Ronnie, or?
I needed more time to think, Brian.
We need to rehearse.
I know Albert used to dress up as a clown all the time. I remember that.
Yeah, for Mardi Gras he liked to have costumes, and he had my mother made him a clown suit out of old clothes that she put patches and all on, and he loved to be the clown. That was one of his favorite costumes that my mother had made for him. And we used to go down to Robert's mother's house off on Keller Rec, right off of St. Claude. Then the parade used to pass there. It was
kind of located ideally, you know.
Yeah, she was right off the corner of St. Claude. And the parade at that time used to come down St. Claude towards the auditorium.
Max Landry was in one of the
Max
parades.
Landry, and we used to have the movies in his mother's backyard afterwards. All the family and friends used to come in and have stuff to eat and all. I used to have all those movies, but Katrina took all those away.
Washed them away.
Yeah, Teddy was a Cavalier. Max Landry was a Chinese. Albert was a clown.
You know, we lost a lot of pictures also in Betsy.
Yeah,
and you lost a lot.
I lost everything.
Catherine lost all of ours.
Katrina.
Everybody, all my relatives from St. Bernard moved away. So I'm the lone wolf.
That's true. Well, Dion's uptown.
Dion, that's right. Dion
but
is.
We don't get to see her too much. You know, with her business and her son, we don't get to see her too much.
And maybe just to kind of wrap things up, how did your family make it to Louisiana? You know the story behind that?
Well, grandma.
Oh, you knew my grandmother, grandpa and grandma were married in Italy.
Yeah.
But their honeymoon was spent to come here. But at that time, the ships were like cattle ships, and she come here as a young bride, and she was so seasick on the ship that she never would go back to Italy, to Sicily, and she left a house with furniture there and her whole family, and never did get to see her mother and father anymore through the years, my grandfather and grandmother worked and raised enough money to start bringing their sisters and brothers to the United States. So that's
What do
how
you think,
they
Grandma?
came in.
Did she bring Aunt Sear here?
She brought
Which
Aunt
is her
Sear.
sister.
Yeah. She brought the other sister.
Okay.
Oh,
you see, I didn't know.
I forget.
Her brother too, Tony.
She brought brothers.
Yeah.
And then Grandpa brought his brothers.
Uh-huh.
Now I don't know if he had any sisters.
Okay.
I don't. There might have been some sisters because there was some elderly
And I
aunts
don't know
too.
how they bought that house. It's a pretty big house.
I don't know either. And then Grandpa died after they bought that house, and she had all these children. There was 5 girls and 3 boys, and so she took her living room and she converted it into a little grocery store, a little neighborhood grocery store, with milk and bread and a few vegetables and things, and that's how she supported.
And she was getting support from the Italian community.
Yeah, but there was no welfare or
No,
anything like that
no.
then, or Social
I
Security.
don't know how she made it.
So she just scraped along, and which was hard on the children because as they got the age where they could get a job, especially the girls went to work in the factories. My mother was like 14 years old, I
Yeah.
think, when she had to quit school, and my mother wanted to go to high school, and she couldn't do it because she had to go out to work. As each girl got old enough, they went to work in the factories as a seamstress. I don't remember what Uncle Tony did first.
Well, he was a baker.
A baker, but
Yeah.
was he that when he was young?
I don't know.
I don't remember what.
But
what he did.
I remember that part where, he used to have to go to work at 2 in the morning.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so he was a baker.
But none of the children actually, the older children didn't get high school
No.
educations, and I think Benny was the only one.
Probably so.
Martin didn't go
No.
to high school
No.
either. He went into service.
Yeah.
And Uncle Benny, and I don't think Uncle Benny graduated. I think
No.
he went maybe a year.
But he did stay in the service for 20
Yeah.
years.
Oh yeah.
He
yeah.
retired from the
From
Army.
the army.
Benny did.
Uh-huh. And so that's how she raised her children in the beginning, was with a little grocery store, a family grocery store.
And I remember my daddy told me he used to carry bananas on the river.
Oh yeah, a lot of the young boys did
That's
that.
the only job he could get.
Mhm.
They paid him like a quarter or something, whatever
Something,
they paid him.
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, and all the bananas they could eat.
Oh, okay.
all the bananas they could eat.
Bring some home.
Oh yeah, take
And
some.
all them kids at home, they were starving for something good.
And all of my aunts worked in the factory,
Yeah.
sewing. Now Santa, she stayed home after she started having children. She didn't
Yeah.
work, but the rest of them, they all stayed working in the
Yeah.
factory as we were all growing up. And then eventually they all started to retire. Well, they didn't get anything, but they quit their works and stayed home. Became housewives.
Grandma had a St. Joseph altar every year. And the story goes that her sons were in the military during World War II, and she made a promise to St. Joseph that if they would return safely, that she would continue to make the St. Joseph altars, which she did.
Till she
all
was
the way
like
through
80.
World War II, yes.
She was
And-
83, I think, when she passed away, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
And
It's
she-
amazing all the ladies that came over and helped. They would cook for 4 to 5 or 6 hours at a time.
for weeks
making-
and weeks
They
ahead.
were making pinolatas, what they call it.
Yeah, seed cakes
Seed
and
cakes
figs
and-
cakes, and
Yeah.
all the baking had to be done months ahead, and it was stored in big cans she had.
And I used to be a saint.
And I was a blessed mother.
Oh my goodness.
And my son Ronnie wound up baby Jesus.
Oh, dear.
When he got old
And I remember we used to get a big old loaf of Italian bread.
Italian
Remember?
bread, oh.
That's the reward you got for being a saint or being represented on the altar. Big old loaf, that big around.
Big round with
Yeah,
a
and
plate,
that's why
paper plate with all
I still
the
love
cookies.
Italian bread to this
Yeah.
day. Except I can't buy it anymore.
Yeah, they don't have
Even
good Italian bread.
Every place is out of business.
Yeah, no, there's no more Italian bread. That's the thing of the,
Okay.
of the past. It's
Any
just a
fin-
memory.
Any final words?
Well, it was nice to do this. It was kind of like the spur of the minute.
Yeah.
And I hope we could think up enough
Yeah.
of
Well,
the past. As you talk, you remember.
yeah.
Well, we'll do this again some more.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Well, I hope you have the sound on too. 'Cause I remember an interview with no sound.
It wasn't me.
No, I know, but I'm
Okay.
just saying. I hope you have the sound on now.
Who didn't know
He
sound?
interviewed my mother for a nice interview
Yeah.
too, at Pam's wedding,
Oh.
and there's no
there's
sound.
no
The
sound.
cameraman gave me the mic, but
Yeah.
he had the mic off.
And he was asking, he was in just like he was asking us questions.
Oh, you
You know, you could
kidding.
kind of read his lips. I knew what he was asking.
Yeah.
And my mother would respond. But
Oh, gee.
no.
All right,
no
let's say goodbye.
Okay.
Bye-bye.